Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss a fascinating topic. This content comes from an address given by the great and wise teacher Benny from the Australian Buddhist Practice Association. He is quite remarkable because he skillfully integrates ancient wisdom with modern science to discuss what we could call a hidden root of suffering in our daily lives. Let's dive right into the core topic. We often hear people say that the Dharma Buddhist teachings has 84,000 gates to liberation, so many methods of practice, right? The question is, among these thousands of methods, is there one principle that can be considered the most core and fundamental? Did you guess correctly? The answer is profound. In the original address, the teacher points directly to great compassion. This great compassion can be seen as the starting point of all practice and the most fundamental driving force that leads us toward awakening. The logical path from compassion to awakening. Now, you might be wondering, what is the relationship between great compassion and our personal suffering? How does it guide us to understand the suffering? The logic here is quite interesting. Let's examine it step by step. Starting with great compassion. From great compassion, we naturally develop the aspiration to achieve Bodhi. What is Bodhi? Although it sounds esoteric, in simple terms, Bodhi is simply awakening. Arousing the Bodhi mind. Therefore, when we hear people talk about arousing the Bodhi mind, it means we are resolving to firmly set our hearts on achieving awakening. What is true awakening? True awakening means you can see with absolute clarity the fundamental cause of all our suffering. In this particular address, the wise teacher Benny condenses this ultimate source of suffering into a single word, greed. This greed is not just simple greed. It includes craving, attachment, and grasping. It is, in essence, the engine that drives all our unhappiness and dissatisfaction. This is the source of the common saying, all suffering arises from greedy desire. However, here is the crucial point. Many people have heard this, or can even recite it, that they have never truly awakened to how this greed operates in their own lives and causes them to suffer. The modern manifestation of greed, the suffering of sugar. This next part is where it gets very interesting. How do we connect this seemingly abstract ancient philosophy with modern science? It's simple. We look at one of the most common examples of real-world suffering caused by greed in today's society, sugar. But the sugar discussed here is not just the obvious kind, like soda, candy, and desserts. The address specifically emphasizes a much scarier, invisible form of sugar. Sugars that are not called sugar. Take a look. The white rice and white flour refined starches we eat every day are all converted into sugar once they enter the body. You might wonder if it's really that serious. According to the scientific research cited in the address, consider this number, 45. This represents the fact that long-term, sustained sugar intake is directly linked to at least 45 different diseases. It is something that slowly, gradually nurtures itself within our bodies. How exactly does sugar harm us? It corrodes cells. It damages DNA that harms the power plants of our cells, the mitochondria. It erodes the nervous system and breaks down neurons in the brain. The address uses an excellent metaphor. Excessive sugar is like rust or acid, corroding our bodies from the inside out, little by little. Think about it, from our genes to our brains, nothing is spared. Your body is the ultimate lab, experiential awakening. Hearing all this might seem a little crazy, but here's the key point. We don't have to just read scientific papers or listen to others. Every one of us can achieve our own awakening on this issue of sugar. The question is, how? We don't have a lab. How can we personally verify whether what science says is true or false? How can we turn this knowledge into wisdom genuinely felt by our own bodies? The answer is incredibly simple and direct. Use your own body. Your body is your best and most sensitive instrument. Let it directly feel the results. As soon as you start to reduce your sugar intake, you will personally experience fantastic rewards. You will notice improved memory. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your overall vitality returns. Your mood improves. You may even find that your perspective on life becomes more philosophical. This is not a joke. Your mind genuinely becomes sharper, and your body is more energetic. From personal insight to great compassion in action. Now, let's look at the final and most crucial section, which connects everything we've discussed so far. When we personally experience and awaken to this truth, this realization brings us back to the very beginning, great compassion. Why? Because true awakening is never just about benefiting oneself. When you truly understand the extent of sugar's harm, your great compassion is naturally triggered. You will have a profound desire to share this truth with those around you who are unconsciously harming themselves. How should you share it? The address provides a very practical and compassionate strategy. Explain the danger of sugar, both the obvious and the hidden kinds. If they forget, tell them again. If you're really short on time, write a note to serve as a daily reminder. Why is this repetition so important? Because, as mentioned before, memory is often the first ability to be damaged by sugar. However, there's good news. Scientific research indicates that this damage is not permanent. The brain can self-repair its neural circuits. Sometimes, simply giving up excessive sugar for a short time, just 1 month, can show signs of restored brain function. This is genuinely a hopeful prospect. Conclusion: the choice on your plate. So, after all this discussion, everything ultimately comes back to a choice we made. This choice tightly binds the cutlery in our hands to a life philosophy. What you choose to eat today is not just a decision about health. It is a profound reflection of your degree of self-awareness awakening. Will you choose to continue cultivating suffering, or will you decide to walk the path toward awakening?